session number 61. Our subject is steel structure, fabrication, execution, and the materials. So, before going, I would like to request you to press the bell icon and like it, share it, and subscribe as usual in order to reach the next video with easy access. So, the steel structure is the making metal structure and assembling means steel manufacture create machines, parts, and the various structure through the material and the multiple process of the fabrication. The new metal fabrication also use press brakes and the air bends metal sheets into uh, different segments in accordance to the approved shop drawings and the project specification. So, which steel is used for the construction? The types of steel used in the construction often vary depending upon the nature of the construction projects. However, the main types, including structure steel, rebar steel, alloy steel, carbon steel, light gauge steel, tool steel, and the weathering steel, is mostly common material used in the steel structure buildings. So, what is the steel structure fabrication process? Steel structure fabrication is the process of the bending, cutting, and molding steel from a structure in accordance to the uh, shapes depend upon the uh, approved shop drawings. For the structural steel fabrication, pieces of steel are knot together to make different structure and are usually depending upon the sizes and the shapes of the fabrication, which are the 3D modules. So, what is the steel structure methods? There are currently two common methods for the steel structure. The first method is the allowable strength design ASD method. The second is the load and the resistance factor depending upon the LRFD method. Both are use a strength multiple level design approach and the types of the fabrication whatever the required. Cutting, punching, and the forming, shearing, stamping, the shapes, cuts, or mold through the metal fabrication into the final shapes and drilling holes in accordance to the standard dimension and the way of the drill holes. So, what is the steel fabrication welding? It is the most common fabrication is the process of creating projects out of the metal, and the welding can be a singular operation during the process. Simply put, welding joints together with the pieces of the metal, glasses, thermoplastic, and the similar melting points and the composition using in the fusion weldings and the process. So, what are the methods of the steel structural design? There are three methods of the structural steel design: working stress, limit state, and the ultimate load method for the structural design parameters. These design methods are used for the reinforced concrete as well as the steel structural design number one and the two. So, what is the structural design? Structural design is a um, methodology investigation of the stability, strength, and the rigidity of the structure. The basic objective in the structural steel design is to produce the structure capable resisting all applied loads without failure during its internal life. So there are four main types of the steel. Carbon steel. Carbon steel looks Mats like the noun as the valuable non-corrosive metals. Alloy steel next up to the alloy steel, this which is the mixture of the several different metals like a nickel, copper, wherever it is the required. Sometime in the bracing and the uh, fabrication for the designing and it's in the modeling there are some accessories for the aluminum. So, tool steel, this is the composition of the steel. Steel is a alloy of the iron and the carbons. The steel are also containing the 10.5% chromium less than the 1.2% carbon and the other alloying elements. These are the accessories. Always, it is combination of the fabrication process and the bracing and the stenciling and the strengthening wherever it is the required in accordance to the approved shop drawings. So why the steel is used in the construction? Steel is one of the basic material used in the civil engineering due to its proven high strength and the durability. Corrosion of the steel used in the building gauges structural failures and the results in a safety hazards and etc. Uh, so what are the tests for the steel bars? Tensile test, compression test, bending test, hardness, Brinell hardness test, Rockwell hardness test, impact test, corrosion test, and the chemical composition, whatever it is. So, if we compare the time consumption in accordance to the concrete structure and the structure steel is a more short and fast method in the construction, and it can be very sophisticated design and time consumption. It is also a very less factor, and the durability wise also this is the more than the concrete structure and the other factor on the repair basis. This is also a useful factor for that one. So this was a briefing about the structural steel designing materials and whatsoever. In next session we will discuss about the different types of the welding in shorts, and then we will see. So thank you very much and have a nice day. See you again in next session with another subject.